The good old 2-for-1, a twilight makeup doubleheader, a single admission doubleheader tonight after a rainout last night. Cubs and the Phillies will play the first two of the 4-game weekend set here on CSN. Great to have you with us, Jim DeShays and Len Casper. We'll have both games here on Comcast Sportsnet. Kyle Hendricks will start the nightcap, but it'll be Jake Arrieta here in the opener.
Yeah, Jake Arrieta has been brilliant. The last time he lost, it was to these Phillies. It was the Cole Hamels, a no-hitter. Since then, he's made 8 starts. He's 7-0 with a 0.64 ERA. He has not allowed an earned run in his last 4 starts. We're going to blow you away with Jake Arrieta factoids throughout Game 1 here tonight.
Yeah, he looks for his 19th win coming up tonight, and we'll try to start this series on a good note for the Cubs, who won 2 of 3 in St. Louis. Cubs and Phils, Game 1 next.
Cubs baseball.
Beverage Depot will donate $100 to Make-A-Wish, Illinois. It is the 14th anniversary of the September 11th terror attacks, and Major League Baseball remembering all who lost their lives and honoring everyone affected by that horrible tragedy. On-field personnel, players, coaches, umpires will have the American flag patch embroidered on the side of their caps. And MLB proceeds from the sales of these caps will be donated to the 9/11 Memorial and Museum, the Pentagon Memorial, and the Flight 93 Memorial as well. And we'd like to welcome all our viewers watching on Ligtel Communications in Ligonier, Indiana. You know how I found out how to spell or pronounce Ligonier?
Tell me.
I called the city hall. I got voicemail.
Where was the mayor?
I don't know. Well, it's a Friday. Maybe off early. Quinn Walcott, the home plate umpire, and will not have to work Game 2. Ben May will be at first. Ryan Blackney's at second. Eric Cooper, the crew chief, is over at third. Left-hander Adam Morgan will face this Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Fowler, Jackson, and Bryant are at the top. Rizzo, Castro, and Baez are in the middle. Ross, Arrieta, and Russell will round it out.
Defensively, the Phillies A lot of names maybe you're not familiar with. Jeff Francoeur, you probably know him. He was Gold Glove winner with Atlanta in 07. Odubel Herrera, the rookie in center. Likewise, a rookie in right, it's Aaron Altair. Ashy, Galvis, Hernandez, Ryan Howard, third to first. Carlos Ruiz, the veteran backstop, does the catching. The Lexus pursuing perfection starting pitcher is rookie left-hander Adam Morgan. 5 up, 5 down, 4.42 ERA. He's making his 14th big league start. Who at one time was the top pitching prospect in the Phillies organization. Had surgery, missed all of last year. He's a control pitcher, real good changeup, good breaking ball.
Not a ton of people in the ballpark. The Phillies have the worst record in baseball, and as you can imagine, their attendance has fallen off quite a bit. They had the smallest crowd in the ballpark's history on Monday against Atlanta, 15,125. But we should have a lot more than are in the park right now, as we are getting started just after 5 o'clock local time on a Friday. Game 2 will start about 30 minutes after the completion of Game 1. So here we go. Morgan facing the Cubs for the first time in his career. And Dexter Fowler sends one in the air. Center field. Odubel Herrera makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Yeah, so the atmosphere in the ballpark right now is akin to a minor league game or a B game during the exhibition season. But, you know, this is a very important game for the Cubs, so you got to make sure you stay engaged. Sometimes when the atmosphere is like this, it's a little harder to kick it into gear.
A strike at the knees on Austin Jackson. 8 games with the Cubs, hitting .280. 3 doubles and an RBI. Ruiz sets up toward the outside, and the pitch is over but low. And it's 1-1. Looks like a nice evening on the way.
Change up.
Outside.
Probably his go-to pitch. Velocity below average, probably sits around 89 miles an hour with 85. Occasionally touch 91, 92.
On the ground to the shortstop, Freddie Galvis. Dropped by Howard. That should be an error on the first baseman. Looked like a pretty good throw by Galvis. Are they giving it to Galvis?
It can't be. It's got to be Howard.
It didn't hit the dirt.
No. It's just like forgot to open his glove or something.
Yeah, that'll be on Ryan Howard.
Howard has never been a good defender, but that comes under the category of inexcusable.
So a 1-out base runner, and Chris Bryant takes ball 1. And an aggressive swing, and he fouled it back. 82 degrees as we get started. Here for Game 1. Phillies swept the Cubs at Wrigley Field back in July.
Back. Sorry.
Thank you. Yes. Cubs were out hit 40-15, outscored 21-8. Cole Hamels no hit them in the middle game of that series. Phillies have been actually above 500 in the second half after a dismal first half. Swing and a miss. 1-2. 25-24 since the break.
Yeah, they were really good right out of the All-Star break. They won 16 of 21 to start the second half. They were playing their best baseball of the year when the Cubs saw that.
And he got him. Bryant strikes out for the 169th time. Most in the National League. Now Anthony Rizzo with 2 outs.
So Morgan, he's a lefty with a good changeup. He'll elevate that fastball. He's an extreme fly ball pitcher. His fly ball rate is crazy high. Now it's only 73 1/3 innings of work, but with that comes the home run ball, and he's allowed a lot of them. 14 long ones in 73 innings.
Rizzo hot here as of late. He has scored a run in 7 consecutive games, and he takes a borderline strike. He's connected 6 times off a left-handed pitcher, tied for the most homers off lefties by a left-handed hitter in the National League. The other 2 guys are pretty good. Bryce Harper and Joey Votto have also connected 6 times. And Morgan will check on the runner. They did give the error to Howard. What we heard, I think, was assist to Freddie Galvis. So my mistake, but we knew it would be on Howard. One and one on Rizzo. Here's the pitch. It's off the plate inside. 2-1.
Morgan, a 3rd round pick of the Phils in June of 2011. Played his college ball at University of Alabama.
Fouled straight back. Yeah, his dad, Wiley, pitched for Alabama as well back in the early 80s.
Wiley Morgan. Sounds like a gunslinger from the Wild West. He was probably a crafty left-hander himself.
Jackson runs on the 2-2, and there's a towering fly ball to right in the corner. It's going to be way foul.
It's up for grabs, folks. Go get it. Cue the Benny Hill music, and the race is on.
There's going to be a lot of that today. Count holding at 2-2 on Rizzo. Morgan working with veteran catcher Carlos Ruiz. It's like they're going in. And Rizzo pops it up. Ruiz over near the Cubs dugout, and no play.
The Phillies announced yesterday that they will not extend the contract of Ruben Amaro Jr., who had been serving as their general manager since after the 2008 World Series. Time of transition here in Philadelphia. They were very busy. Ruben himself was at the trade deadline. And most of those iconic players that did so much good work here in Philadelphia have moved on. It has to be weird for Howard and Ruiz, still kind of left behind, if you will.
Yeah. Well, Cliff Lee is still here, but he's hurt. Been on the DL all year.
He's being paid $25 million or something. And Utley's gone. Hamels is gone. Rollins.
Ball 4. Terrific plate appearance for Anthony Rizzo, and that will give Starlin Castro a 2-out opportunity with 2 men on. Starlin's been hot, hitting .419 over his last 15 games. He's been driving the ball as of late, and he's earned some more playing time. He's playing second base and batting 5th. mentioned Morgan giving up the long ball. This has always been a good home run ballpark, particularly the left. And the Cubs are a home run hitting team. Swing and a miss. And it's 0-2.
A good swing, though. You know, that's the thing about Starlin lately. When he's decided to turn it loose, boy, that bat head is really flying through the zone for much of the summer, pulling off a lot of balls, a lot of weak contact, especially on the pull side. But lately he's been driving it to right center. When he gets mistake pitches middle in or an off-speed pitch up a little bit, he's been yanking it with authority to left.
Drives this ball to left. Back on it is Jeff Francoeur. That will end the inning. Cubs strand 2. Phillies are coming up. Jake Arrieta will face this Phillies Southwest starting lineup. They scored at least 5 runs and had at least 11 hits in all 3 games at Wrigley Field, but they don't rank very highly in the National League. Hernandez, Galvis, Herrera at the top. Francoeur had a big home run in that series. Ryan Howard hit 2, including 1 off Jake Arrieta. Altair, the rookie, in right. Cody Ashe back at his normal position in third. Carlos Ruiz catching, as we mentioned, for the pitcher Morgan.
Cubs are deployed thusly: Bryant, Fowler, Jackson, left, center, right. Third to first, Baez, Russell, Castro, Rizzo. David Rouse behind the plate. Lexus pursuing perfection, starting pitcher for the Cubs. And boy, he's been darn near perfect. Jake Arrieta trots out an 18-6 record through 28 starts with a 2.03 ERA.
The 29-year-old right-hander to a switch-hitting Cesar Hernandez. Misses for ball 1.
Followed up his no-hitter against the Dodgers with 8 shutout last time out against the Diamondbacks.
You mentioned all the good stuff we can give you on Jake Arrieta, and there's a ton of it. He has not given up a run over his last 17 innings. He has not allowed an earned run over his last 4 starts. He's the only 18-game winner in baseball. He's won 7 straight starts. And he's 9-0 with an ERA just above 1 over his last 11 on the road. Swing and a miss, 2-2. Other than that, he's been just okay.
And here's my favorite. One of 3 pitchers in a 15-start span within a season to record at least 12 wins, an ERA under 1, and more than 100 strikeouts. The other 2, Gibson and Tiant in '68, the year of the pitcher. So to review, 3 pitchers over a 15-start span within a season, ERA under 1, more than 100 punch-outs, Louis Tiant, the great Bob Gibson, and now Jake Arrieta.
Wow.
It's in 100 years.
Pretty incredible. 3-2 on Hernandez. Buddy Galvis, switch hitting shortstop, is on deck. Swing and a miss. Strike three. 198th strikeout of the year for Jake.
Power slider. Loves that pitch against the left-handed hitters.
Well, the 25-year-old Galvis. And he takes a strike. Fastball at 95. That's what we normally see from Arrieta.
His last start, he mixed in a few more changeups. Normally, Jake is fastball, slider, curveball, and a changeup that he uses from time to time. But it seemed to me he made some real big pitches with this changeup in his last start.
And bounced in front of the plate. Chris Bryant is playing left here in game one with Javier Baez at third. Chris making his Citizens Bank Park debut here tonight. Will get on a play to left. 2-2. Slider is rolled to Rizzo, and he'll underhand to Arrieta covering. 2 up, 2 down. And that'll bring up Odubel Herrera. He had a couple of big and adventurous catches in center field to help Cole Hamels no-hit the Cubs on July the 25th. An infielder by trade. He's played exclusively center field, and we know Wrigley Field is not the easiest place to play late in the afternoon, sun shining. This was the final out to clinch the no-no. No style points. All that mattered to the Phillies is that he caught it. And 1 strike on him. He leads all major league rookies with that 300 batting average and also 26 doubles.
Yeah, this kid, a Rule 5 draft pick out of the Rangers organization. It's a time of discovery here for the Phillies. They're going to get a look at a lot of young players. They have been doing that all summer long. The Franco kid currently hurt, but he's had a heck of a year. Got some funk going on with that stance, doesn't he?
He does. Front foot as he gets ready to hit. And a very awkward looking angle, and there's a big leg kick. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Pitching a day later because of rain. Jake Arrieta looks good early. With Joe Madden before the game. Remember, he was the Rays manager against the Phillies in the 2008 World Series. Game 5, one of the coldest, rainiest, muddiest games in World Series history. And the game actually got suspended, tied at 2 in the 6th inning. They couldn't finish the following day due to weather. They finished 2 days later, and the Phillies wanted to clinch the World Series. I remember turning that game on thinking, how can they play through this? The Rays had actually checked out of their team hotel because they were going to play Game 5 and then head home for either Game 6 or the series would end. Then they had to stay in the area, so their traveling secretary actually found a hotel in Wilmington, Delaware, where they stayed for the next 2 nights.
Yeah, about 40 minutes away. Joe said it was lovely, lovely accommodations. Beautiful hotel. But yeah, they should not have been playing baseball. Not the World Series, not in weather like that.
They actually did change or tweak the rule that a World Series game, and I think all playoff games, they have to go 9. You can't have a 6-inning wipeout, in a 3-2 final, that sort of thing. And that makes sense. One and 2 the count on Javier Baez. 2nd inning, no score. And that was the first game in World Series history to ever be suspended. There had been 3 ties. 1907, 1912, 1922. And that was due to darkness. Cubs and the Tigers in the 07 World Series.
I remember it well. Listen to every pitch on my transistor.
Baez stays alive.
Yeah, Baez is going to see a lot of off speed from Morgan. He's going to try to get him to chase changeups down, and if he feels like he's starting to look for that pitch, then he'll probably try an elevated fastball. But now that he's got the jump on Baez, he's probably not going to spend a whole lot of time in the strike zone. He did. Got away with it.
Shallow right. Altair. The sunglasses on, makes the catch.
Cub fans, don't miss the stretch run at Wrigley Field. The Cubs return home for the final homestand on Friday the 18th. Cardinals, Brewers, Pirates, and Royals all come to town. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com. The book on Morgan is real heady pitcher. Real good game plan out there. One time was considered their top pitching prospect. Post-surgery doesn't quite have his velocity back. He was never a plus velocity guy. He wasn't 95, 96, but he was probably more a guy who would sit comfortably around 92. This year he's, as I mentioned, been more high 80s, 90-ish.
0-1 to David Ross. Bounding ball to short. Galvis will glove, and notice Howard with 2 hands on it to accept the throw from his shortstop. Going to bring up Arrieta, the pitcher. Yeah, just to go back to the 08 series, talking with Joe, just random memories that he had. He had a good friend who was here for Game 5 with his kids, and he remembers looking out to where they were sitting thinking, this has to be miserable. It was one of the coldest games he can ever remember.
Yeah, he remembered the Upton slide that we showed you and the throw from Burrell. He said, I couldn't believe Burrell got off such a good throw in those conditions.
Well, whenever you're watching on television and you see the dirt is shiny, that's not good. I mean, you're playing in puddles at that point. Two and one on Arrieta. Good swing, fouls it off. 2-2.
Well, the Cubs obviously did not play last night with the rain out, but they gained ground. The Cardinals and the Pirates both lost. Cardinals got smoked by the Reds.
Galvis again. Howard again.
He said, thank you for throwing it at least bell time.
Nothing early. Center City, Philadelphia. They got a nice setup here, don't they? The baseball stadium right across the street is where the Eagles play, and also where the Flyers and the Sixers play.
Yeah, there's a lot of action now. If there's two having to be going on at once, it can get a little crazy with the traffic. But yeah, this is a neat setup, not far from Center City. Easy access for the fans. A little close to the highway as well.
Jeff Francoeur playing left. He hit a game-winning two-run homer in extra innings at Wrigley off Rafael Soriano to start that series in July. Back to Arrieta.
If you're looking for a private and exclusive Chicago cruise on the lakefront or Chicago River, contact Anita D. Yacht Charters. Anita D. Yacht Charters specialize in fully customizable corporate outings, social events, and weddings aboard their two private and exclusive luxury yacht venues. Book today at AnitaD.com. You'll feel like Thurston Howell. Hopefully you don't get lost.
1-0 on Ryan Howard, going through the longest offer of his career. Hitless in his last 29 at-bats.
Let me see. The only blemish on Arrieta's start against the Phillies, 3-run shot by Ryan Howard. I believe he walked the preceding hitter, and then Howard pumped it into the left center bleachers, if memory serves me right. So Howard still has that. Strikes out a bunch. Still has power.
Nice running grab by Austin Jackson. Best hit ball of the evening to this point. Just a loud second out here in the Phillies' second inning.
Frustrations continue for Howard. He really put a good swing on that one, but a nice break and a good catch by Jackson out there in right field.
See that SLB patch on the chest? That is in honor of Sarah L. Buck, who passed away last year. A longtime part-time owner of the Phillies. Aaron Altair takes ball one high. The Cubs wearing the number 14 patch, honoring Mr. Cub Ernie Banks, who died this past January. And Ernie would have loved tonight, right? Straight up doubleheader. Yeah. Let's play two. That ball driven out into deep left center, and Chris Bryant can only watch it go. A long home run for Aaron Altair. In just his 22nd Major League game, he takes Jake Arrieta deep. That ball was crushed.
Yeah, he's one of the intriguing young players I was talking about earlier. He's very athletic, long and strong, lanky kid, 6'5" or so, can really run. He was a standout basketball player in high school. This is your Ford home run replay. He's kind of been a bit of a project working his way up through the Phillies organization. Had a very nice year in the minor leagues. Speed, power guys. And he's put the Phillies on the board here.
Now Cody Ashe, the third baseman. So the Phillies, who had that big offensive weekend at Wrigley Field, they have not hit more than one homer in a game over their last 14 contests. That's the longest such streak in baseball. But they have one on the board already. 2-0 on Ashe. When we saw him in July, he was playing the outfield. Mikel Franco is hurt. He's got a fractured left wrist, suffered about a month ago. They're still hoping he might be able to return before the season ends. Ashe earlier this year went down to AAA to learn left field, and that opened the door for Franco at third. Foul tipped on a fastball. 2-2.
It's only the 10th home run allowed by Arrieta this year, and the first since the Ryan Howard homer we were talking about earlier.
Called strike three. Got him on a backdoor curveball to end the inning. Altair with a home run. It's 1-0 Phillies. Northside Data Strong Fan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. We've got some time. We're going to be here for a while. Jake Arrieta picking up his 200th strikeout of the year, getting Cody Ashe looking. That came right after Aaron Altair's home run. And the Phillies lead this game 1-0. Russell, Fowler, and Jackson here in the third. Fouled out of play. Lights are on. Still have a lot of sun. Mostly in right, a little bit in center. A lovely evening for baseball.
I always feel like these odd start times benefit the starting pitchers.
Just because it's different?
Well, yeah, and because
sight lines,
sometimes the sight lines and the sun being different, and players being such creatures of habit, it just gets you out of your routine a little bit. Feels a little funky.
Second strikeout for Morgan.
But if you're a starting pitcher, you only pitch once every 5 days anyway, and you are fully invested regardless of the situation. So it's easy. It's easier for me, for the pitcher to kind of get locked in. I think it's tougher for the position players. Again, it's a theory. I have no evidence to support it.
Well, you have a few of those, and a couple of them I'm starting to buy in a little bit. The former catcher against the ex-battery mate. I like that. Off the end of the bat, and it'll drop. The Cubs are on the hit board with one out here in the third.
Changeup stayed up a little bit. And Fowler sees out on that front foot, but he keeps the hands back, makes a nice pass through the zone.
Jackson reached on an error in the first inning. Howard holding on Fowler. There he goes, and a hit and run, and Jackson fouls to the top of the screen. Yeah, and all the talk about the 2008 World Series, the Phillies at that time, man, it was rocking and rolling here. You could not find an empty seat, but it is a game of cycles, and the Phillies taking a downturn. They may not have a new manager next year. Andy McPhail, who will take over as a team president following the season, seemed to indicate Pete Buchanan has a fighting chance to return as a manager. There's the Chicago native. Much of the front office will remain intact. They will hire a new GM to replace Ruben Amaro. Talking to some people around here, it's the old adage, when you're bad, you never think you're going to be good again. And I think Cub fans can relate. And when you're really good, you never think you're going to be bad again. And Philly fans are finding that out the hard way. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. A year ago, I don't even know what the Cubs record was on this date, but it had to be, what, 15 to 20 games under 500?
Likely, yeah.
But it can change quickly, both ways.
Yeah, and that's, it's the nature of the way this thing is designed. When you win all the time, you pick way down at the bottom of the draft. So that didn't help the Phillies' cause. They had some bad drafts, some prospects that didn't pan out. Hung on to their veteran guys probably a year or two longer than they should have. But those are tough goodbyes. It's tough to turn the page on guys that help you win.
Well, the other thing, I think, with veteran guys who have had a lot of success in one place and have helped you win championships and multiple division titles, it feels like in most cases it comes down to health. Swing and a miss on the change. In other words, if Chase Utley had just been healthy, he'd have been fine. And so I think you kind of talk yourself into thinking he's going to get it back. Ryan Howard's gone through some health issues, but it doesn't always come back.
Players get hurt,
Right. So guys making a ton of money. If he's producing, he's helping your team. If he's not producing, he's hard to trade. And if he's hurt, you can't move him. So
you're stuck.
It feels like it in a lot of cases, yes. Well, Morgan picks up 3 strikeouts here in the third, leading 1-0. Insider all season long on Comcast Sportsnet. Brought to you by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Visit Jeff at jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side. Thanks to Patrick for spending some extra time with us during the rain delay last night as 36-year-old Carlos Ruiz fouls away. 1-0 Phillies on the Aaron Altair home run. Ruiz signed through next year. He'll make $8.5 million in 2016. And he lines this one past Russell and into left center. Anderson nearly got it.
No way to play that would have been. But alas, just a little bit short. Great effort. Morgan up there. Likely will be looking to lay down a bunt.
I think alas is an underutilized word.
You can feel free to mix it in.
Okay. There's Morgan. Squares. And he pulled it back in time. The pitch was not in the strike zone. Ball one. A lot of news on this Friday. Joey Votto gets a 2-game suspension for going at it with Bill Welke the other night. He is appealing that decision. Foul. Ross doing what any good catcher does. Fire first, ask questions later. But he did pick it up in foul territory.
Yep, just go through with the play and let the umpire make the decision. Make no assumptions. See, that's the thing. Ruiz is not a speedy guy, so Javi Baez here, if he's really aggressive, if Morgan doesn't get a good bunt down, they might have a shot at forcing Ruiz at second base.
There's the bunt by Morgan. Baez goes to second. And they get the lead man Ruiz, and that's it. They almost turned two.
Yeah, that wasn't a horrible bunt. And you could hear it. Well, we could hear it up here. Somebody's screaming too. I don't know if it was David Ross or somebody from the bench. That was a very close play at second base. A bit of a risk there. That's the value of having a guy like Baez who's so quick and athletic down there at third base.
So that'll be a fielder's choice. And Morgan now takes over at first. Here's Hernandez. Mark Teixeira's done. He's got a leg fracture. Scott Feldman has a sprained shoulder. His season done with Houston. Outside ball one.
Word out of Detroit is that Brad Ausmus is going to be dismissed at the end of the year, creating a very awkward situation for Brad.
That's low. 2 balls, no strikes. Bartolo Colon got another win last night for the Mets in Atlanta, 7-2. His shutout streak came to an end. 31 innings for Colon. That's into center. Morgan stops at second. 2 on with 1 out.
Pretty nice stroke there by the switch hitter Hernandez. He's one of the few guys in this Philly lineup that'll work a walk. Pretty aggressive bunch.
Two on for Galvis. And he takes a slider for a strike on the inside corner. The Braves pitcher last night?
Yes.
Shelby Miller. 21 straight winless starts. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Yeah, and he pitched pretty well, right? 3 runs, I think, 6 innings.
I think his ERA is a little over 3. maybe closer to 3.5 during this streak. He has been terribly unlucky. Galvis stumps it foul behind the plate. .351 ERA. He's 0-13 his last 21 starts.
Right now is a great time to plan for your 2016 Cubs spring training experience at beautiful Sloan Park. Go to Cubs.com/Mesa to place a deposit on season tickets and secure the best seats available. Individual spring training tickets will go on sale in January. So be sure to visit Cubs.com/Mesa for the latest updates.
One, two, fouled again. Cubs playing their first doubleheader in Philadelphia since 1990. That was at the old Vet.
2 for the price of 1. This reminds me of when I was a kid and you go to the movies and they'd always show like some cartoons before the movie. They don't do that anymore.
Swing and a miss. Change up.
Yep.
Strikeout number 4.
Yeah, he came off a couple of the breaking balls, and that was what was going on in his last start too. He just the curveball was not quite as consistent for him, so he went to Plan B and threw more changeups. And the action on that pitch was just flat out nasty. He has so many weapons.
Dubal Herrera with 2 outs. Well, the Three Stooges shorts. Those played in movie houses, right? Before the featured films back in the 30s and 40s.
And sometimes they'd have a double feature where you just see back-to-back full-length motion pictures.
Rizzo to Arrieta, and the option flip. They strand a couple. 1-0 Phillies through 3. Opener with the best game day coverage in town right here on CSN starting at 11 a.m. Tune into Bears pregame live presented by Meyer as host Chris Bowden and former Bears Lance Briggs, Jim Miller, Dan Jiggets break down what it'll take to beat the arch rival Packers, and after the game flip back to CSN Plus for locker room reaction and more on Bears postgame live presented by Nissan. It all starts Sunday at 11 a.m. on CSN Chicago. Patriots open the NFL season with a win over the Steelers last night.
In a game that will be forever known as Headphone Gate.
What, the Steelers coaches apparently were hearing the Patriots radio broadcast? Morgan to Rizzo. And it's outside, ball one. Leg kick and the pitch. It's a strike. JD mentioned earlier the arm issues Morgan had. He did not pitch in 2014 after left shoulder surgery. The injury happened in 2013. Had he not suffered that devastating injury, he might have been in the big leagues 2 years ago. So that really set him back.
Yeah, he's a very polished pitcher. He has fastball command. He's got a real good changeup, and he's got a decent breaking pitch, too.
Well, there are a lot of unfamiliar arms the Cubs will face this weekend. The most familiar, Aaron Harang, scheduled to start on Sunday.
I don't know that Morgan would ever rise to the top of the rotation type guy, but certainly you could see him settling in as a solid number 3 or 4 for a good long while in the big leagues, just with this pitchability. 25 years of age.
3-2. Pitching is going to be a huge priority here these next couple of off seasons, according to Andy McPhail. Roll to Howard. Nice play. He'll flip Morgan. Ball actually was a bit behind him. And good footwork. And it'll go 3-1.
Yeah, I got to tell you, after Ryan dropped that throw from Galvis earlier in the ball game, I was kind of betting on the ball here, but the big guy scooped it up. Got it over there to Morgan covering for out number 1.
I have not run into Andy McPhail yet. You saw him yesterday briefly, I know.
Yeah, he said that was not an easy day, never easy when you have to, relieve somebody of their duties. And Amaro has been a big part of the scene here for a long time assistant general manager before becoming the GM. And actually, back to his youth, was a bat boy here.
Castro takes ball 1. Now, Andy McPhail traded you? Is that right?
That's right, yeah, with the Twins to the Giants in 1993.
And a franchise shifting move.
He was the general manager of the Twins, and we were in Chicago to play the Sox, and he actually called me up to his hotel room and said, I won't do the deal if you don't want to go, but I thought you might want a chance to go pitch in the pennant race. And I said, okay, that might be fun. So I got traded to the Giants. And then re-signed with the Twins that winter.
He helped that team win 103 and missed the playoffs.
Well, help is one way to put it. I was there for a while.
Two and two on Castro. Baez will get a shot. He's next. And if either reaches, David Ross waiting in the wings.
That's the other part of it. Morgan showing a willingness to pitch inside. He knows when you don't have plus velocity and you rely on off-speed stuff as well, you got to make sure you do your work inside. Make that hitter aware of both sides of the plate.
Sounded like Starlin cracked his bat as Ashe with a low throw, and all of a sudden Ryan Howard has become a Gold Glover after making that error in the first. Got him locked in, didn't it?
He is concentrating very hard. Ever want to throw a pitch at Wrigley Field? Here's your chance, and for a good cause. Through September 19th, take part in the fight against cancer by helping raise funds for the Lester, Madden, Ma, and Rizzo Foundations in support of pediatric cancer research and awareness. Top contributor from each organization will receive 2 tickets, throw out a ceremonial first pitch at the game on September 20th. Visit Cubs.com/Let'sGoGold for details.
Baez takes a changeup for a strike. I was thinking about David Ross during this inning. He's on deck, and he was going to be on deck no matter what happened. But the math the catcher has to do with all of his catcher's gear. I'm going to remind me to ask those guys, because it's got to be kind of, after a while, taking it off, putting it on, taking it off, putting it on. If you're the 6th batter in an inning,
do you remember the day when guys used to go out there on deck with their shin guards on?
Right. If you're the 5th hitter, do you wait? Well, he's going to get an at bat here as Baez keeps the inning alive by lining one into center. Think about how many times these guys have to take off and put on the catcher's equipment.
Explosive swing here on the breaking pitch by Baez. Watch Morgan flinch.
Popped him up into right. Altair, who has provided the lone run in this game with a home run earlier, makes a grab. 1-0 Phillies. Get on the gear again, David. Four-game series. Got another one tonight, tomorrow night, and then Sunday afternoon. Off day Monday, and another doubleheader in Pittsburgh on Tuesday. That'll be of the split admission variety. Four-game series total, and then back home, final homestand, starting with the Cardinals and the Brewers.
Kyle Hendrickson, game 2 of the doubleheader. Dan Herron tomorrow. Bullpen day likely on Sunday. And then Lester and Hamill in the double dip in Pittsburgh.
Vancouver fouls. in 3:28 here at home. Vancouver made his major league debut 10 seasons ago with his hometown Braves, and it was against the Cubs, and he homered that night.
Change up again.
2-2 on Frenchie.
A little John Lovett's working there, didn't you?
It was not intentional. Line and over. Starlin Castro.
Vancouver with a little Rod Crew-like approach there. Usually you see that big swing from Francoeur, but really used the legs, went down and got that low breaking ball.
Reminds you of Jim Thome, right? The point, the bat point. Common connection there would be Charlie Manuel. Ross and Arrieta will talk it over.
Howard was blocked in the minor leagues by Jim Thome. First full year in the big leagues at the age of 26.
They will get two. Baez, the pivot man, but with the shift, playing near second base. So let's see, 4-5-3.
4-5-3, I believe so. Yep. That might have been started by Russell. It might have been 6-5-3.
They're going to challenge. Pete Mackanin has decided to challenge this call, and I think he's going to win.
Yeah.
So that should be overturned.
Once again, guilty of marking my scorebook too early.
I love the psychology. Well, I don't know if it's psychology, but just how this stuff goes on the Forsyth technology. The replay review. He should be in the dugout because he was called out. That's kind of how the mechanics of this is supposed to work. But he's convinced he's safe, so he's not going anywhere.
Well, yeah. Why bother leaving if you know?
Right.
So that was Castro that started that play. So it would have been a 4-5 to 3 double play, but it's going to be a 4-5 put out and a safe at first base for Howard.
So the call overturned, and instead of a double play, it'll be a fielder's choice for Howard. And now Altair, who homered the deep left center in the second inning. He was born in Germany, Landstuhl, Germany. Went to high school in Arizona. And he takes a strike. His mom was a member of the U.S. military. His dad, a former German soccer player. They will get one as Russell, I think, was thinking about a double play. Castro thought it was the third out. It's only the second, Starlin. And Russell kind of hurried that throw a little bit. Now Howard thinks he might be safe
this
again.
one as well. Yeah, there's no way you're going to get 2 here. So Addison probably should have taken a little bit more time there. If you realize that Ryan Howard's the base runner, you've got a little more time to make that play. You weren't going to get 2 with Altair going down the line, so you have to make sure you get 1. We'll see if Starlin was able to maintain contact with the bag. I believe he did. Real nice play by Castro.
And no challenge. Yep, foot was on the base. And again, Starlin thought it was a 3rd out. You can understand why. Just have to remember that call at first was overturned. That's why guys remind each other all the time. Hey, 2 down, 2 down, 1 out, 1 out. As smart as you are, I have a feeling you forgot how many outs there were on more than one occasion. It sounds easy, doesn't it?
I never ran off the field.
Okay. But in the back
there
of your
may have
mind,
been times when you get the ball back from the catcher and you rub it up and you look up at the board. How many outs are there? Let me double check.
It seems easy to be able to count to 3, but in the heat of the battle, sometimes you forget.
Well, especially if it's a long inning too, right? If you've been out there a long time, at some point you finally get that out. You go, okay, finally there's 3, and sometimes nope, still got to get 1 more.
Runner goes, and no throw as the ball got away from Ross. So Altair has a home run and a steal. It's his 3rd stolen base to go along with his 3rd home run.
16 steals in the minor leagues this year. He also hit 14 home runs, and that's kind of who he is right now, guy. Double-digit home run potential, or not really potential. I mean, that's who he is, and I think they feel like he can grow into more like a 20 home run guy. 25 to 30 steals.
Curve for strike. 2-1. Ross has been busy here in this inning.
Lineup like the Phillies can sometimes present a bit of a challenge for a pitcher in that you just don't have much of a book on them. A lot of young guys you haven't faced a whole lot. You have scouting reports, you have video, but until you've actually gone head to head with a guy, you don't have a real good feel as to how he's going to react to your stuff.
And he walked him. First one given up by Arrieta. If you are keeping score at home, by the way, Francoeur was retired earlier. It was 6-5. So it was Russell, not Castro, to start that play to Baez. So 2 fielders' choices in the inning, 6-5, 6-4. 1 overturned call. And here's Ruiz. Ball 1. AT&T U-verse multi-view. Arrieta trailing 1-0, trying to keep it that way here in the 4th inning. Throw to first, and Rizzo at a certain point just trying to keep it out of right field.
Well, we've seen those guys conspire on that play at least a couple of times this year.
Right back to Jake. That'll end an eventful but scoreless inning as the Phillies strand a couple. 1-0.
The Cubs Wednesday, September 23rd, as we salute students, alumni, and fans of the Big Ten. The Salute to the Big Ten ticket package includes a Budweiser bleacher ticket and a special edition Cub beanie in your favorite Big Ten school colors. Visit Cubs.com/special events.
Morgan's been pretty good in his first ever start against the Cubs. But we've mentioned this, seen some young pitchers here over the last few weeks. One thing to go 3 or 4 and have success, but it's getting through that order the third time around that can be problematic at times. We'll see how it goes here. 8, 9, and 1. Arrieta, Russell, and Fowler. Swinging and a miss.
Saw nothing but rookies in that series against the Reds on the homestand. Alec Asher will pitch to the nightcap here tonight. He's a rookie. Over from the Rangers in the Cole Hamels deal.
Too bad Alan Ashby isn't catching it.
Yeah. And a rookie will go tomorrow, Jared Eichhoff.
Alan Alda could throw out the first pitch. 1-2 on Arrieta. A wind in the 2-2. He struck him out. His 5th of the night.
Cubs have 2 hits, reach on an error and a walk. They've had 1 man in scoring position. That was Jackson back in the first.
Well, this just feels like the kind of night, the kind of ballpark where you might have to hit 2 to their 1. Find the seats. Cubs are certainly capable. 0-2 is bounced foul.
And as we mentioned earlier, that's an important part of the game with Morgan, an extreme fly ball pitcher, although he's got a lot of outs on the ground here tonight. But Coming into this start, he was a fly ball pitcher, and he's allowed 14 home runs in, what, 77 innings now.
I thought that was strike three. It was not. He was brought up in June. He won his major league debut on the 21st of June against St. Louis. That snapped the Phillies club record. 25 consecutive games streak without a win by a starting pitcher. That's almost a month without a win from a starter. And he had gone 0-6 at AAA before he got here with a high ERA.
Phillies have used 14 different starting pitchers this year.
Russell pops out,
including 5 who have made their major league debut.
Fowler 1 for 2. Season turned around the day before the All-Star break as he towers one foul and out of play to left. First 84 games he had 225, low slugging, low OBP, then had 3 hits against the White Sox going into the break. In his last 50 games, including that one, he's hit .303. He's been on base at a .425 clip, and he's slugging .551. He has been a completely different offensive player, and he nearly got clipped on that pitch. But again, as I said the other day, I was talking with him, he doesn't feel like he made any major adjustments. And he lines that one the other way to keep the inning alive. I think he expanded his zone a little bit too much.
Well, he got rung up on a lot of borderline pitches. That was kind of a theme with him early on.
And I think when he came back from the break, he started taking those pitches that pitchers used to get him out on, at least in the first half. And then because he walked so much, it forced them back in the zone, and then he got hot in terms of picking up hits. You've said this many times in various different ways. Pitchers would always rather get you out by not having to throw the ball in the strike zone.
Yeah, because when you throw it in the zone, there's an element of risk there. It's risk you'd rather not take if a guy's going to expand his zone.
Right in the middle, 0-1 on Jackson. He's playing right.
So I'm looking at FanGraphs here on Dexter. First half had a walk rate of 9.5, which is good. It's above, a fair bit above league average. Second half, almost 17% of his plate appearances have resulted in a free pass. His batting average on balls in play was .283 in the first half, .358 since the break. So probably a certain amount of that is luck. Bad luck in the first half, good luck here since the break. Hitting the ball on the line and on the ground significantly more in the second half than he did in the first. He was keeping it out of the air and Balls in the air, if they're not hit on the line, get turned into outs. So that's the what. Now, exactly the how he's gone about it, don't know. Just more disciplined approach, getting better pitches to hit and making better contact.
There he goes. And Jackson finds a left field corner. Fowler should be able to score. Here he comes around third. The relay throw to the plate, not in time. And we are tied at 1. A 2-out rally started by Fowler. And Austin Jackson drives him home.
That's the thing. So you go into this game, you got Ariat on the mound against this rookie, and it feels like a win, right? Just on paper. But you get deeper into the game and you're down, you could be a little sense of urgency, and the guys might start to press. So important to get this game tied up before you get into the late innings. And Fowler makes it happen, and boy, that was closer than it needed to be, or that I thought it was going to be. As Francoeur got a real nice carom out there, was on that ball in a hurry.
There's Bryant. He has struck out both times. Chris hitting .299 at home and the .230s on the road. And you would think this, he's only 2 at-bats into the weekend, this ballpark would suit him well because he is an extreme fly ball hitter. And it may play out that way.
He saw a lot of changeups last time and chased a couple of them. This time he's kind of clued in as what they were going to do. Laid off that changeup just off the outside corner. So we'll see how Ruiz, the veteran catcher, plays it here. With Brian up at base open. Got Rizzo on deck.
That'll get through, and the Cubs will grab the lead. Brian hustling towards second. Head first, he's got a double. Jackson's in. It's 2-1.
They didn't give in. They came back, changeup on 2-0 in the zone. And Chris has seen a lot of them tonight. Real nice job keeping the weight back.
It'll bring out Bob McClure, the Phillies pitching coach. And we may see some action in the Phillies bullpen here momentarily.
Yeah, always fearful of the quick unravel with a rookie pitcher. Meet your favorite Cub players and alumni at the 2016 Cubs Convention, which takes place January 15th through the 17th. And it'll all happen at the Sheraton Chicago Hotel and Towers. Book your hotel stay now. Weekend passes will go on sale later this month. Stay updated by visiting Cubs.com/convention.
3 consecutive 2-out hits. Well, going into this inning, we mentioned the 3rd time through the order, and Cubs hitters apparently figuring out this left-hander, Adam Morgan, had largely shut them down through 4. Anthony Rizzo foul tips. Pitch number 90 on the day, and Rizzo fouls.
Yeah, if you're making pitching change decisions strictly on statistical analysis, you can make a real good case for don't let a pitcher face a line for the 3rd time through. Get him out of there after 90 pitches. You look at the numbers in those circumstances for just about every pitcher in baseball, and the numbers spike significantly.
Off of 3rd, long run by Ashe. No play.
I'm not promoting that. I'm just saying you can make a case for it. question would then become, well, how good are the guys that are coming in behind him?
Right. Driven the other way, Francoeur backpedaling just onto the dirt, and that'll end the inning. But the Cubs get the lead. RBI doubles Jackson and Bryant, and it's 2-1. They gave the Cubs the lead, just picked up his 87th RBI since the RBI became official in 1920. That is the most for a rookie in a single season. He just passed Billy Williams and Giovanni Soto. Billy had 86 RBIs in 1961. Soto knocked in 86 in 2008. Those were Rookie of the Year campaigns, and we think Chris Bryant
this one, yeah,
will have one too. Good swing and a miss by Morgan.
And that's saying something because there's a lot of good young rookies. But just about all rookies are young. I guess there's a couple older rookies, but a lot of good young players in both leagues, but especially here in the NL.
I'm surprised Pete McCannon's going to let Morgan come back out for the sixth.
Yeah, well, you know, this may be a kind of a developmental thing too, just trying to push him a little bit. Doubleheader, maybe feels like he's going to try to save some bullets, but got about 100 guys out there in the bullpen.
Yeah. Strike three called.
Cub fans, don't miss your chance to catch the best matchups in baseball. Reserve your place in line for history in the making. Join the season ticket holder waiting list. It's easy, free to register. For details, visit Cubs.com/waiting list. Yeah, I think there's maybe two pieces of it. One, rewarding a guy who's pitching a good ball game, and two, you know, let's push him. Let's see if he can get through this next part of the lineup the third time through. He's gone through the more dangerous part.
Bunted by Hernandez. Ross pounces on it. Out at first. Clearly Hernandez thinks he's safe.
A good bunt. And Ross gets off a very strong throw. He's out. If he didn't throw him out there, he probably would have had a chance to throw him out at second base. Likely he would have been running.
Galvis with a foul strike. That's in there, and it's 0-2. Arrieta has given up 4 hits. He's walked 1, allowed that home run to Altair, but has a 2-1 lead as he tries to get his 19th win on the year.
A lot of very good individual pitching performances in the league this year, but it seems like the Cy Young Award is coming down to Arrieta and the 2 Dodgers, Kershaw and Greinke. It'd just be a matter of who blinks here the final remaining starts of the season.
And 1 hop right to Russell. 1, 2, 3, go the Phillies. We might have to grab some funnel cake a little later. Oh man, with apples on top, powdered sugar. Sounds like a good dinner.
Those are gummy bears. Firing up the cheesesteaks there. Gino's on one corner, Pat's across the street. The debate rages on here in Philadelphia. Cheese whip. Oh, cheese whiz on there.
Morgan to Castro. And a strike. I had to run. Was that the cheesesteak, the usual cheesesteak bit?
Yeah, they're firing up the cheesesteaks.
Every time we're here, we have to declare our favorite cheesesteak place. I like Gino's. I know there are people who like Pat's better. There are a lot of other cheesesteak places here. Do you lean one way or the other?
No, I don't. I haven't been to either one of those in a long time. Well, Mama Angelina's downtown was always good. The guys in the clubhouse are pretty good. They crank them out.
Stalin checked his swing and fouled it away.
There may be a few of those consumed between games of a doubleheader down there in the visiting clubhouse.
Cubs lead 2-1.
If guys are suddenly turning doubles into singles, we'll know why.
Oh, poked into right for a base hit.
The magic wand. So earlier this year, apparently, Morgan, in one of his starts, something similar to this happened. He was going along nicely, gave up a run or two. They sent him back out there, and it kind of went south on him. But he came in the next day and he went up to Bob McClure and was very appreciative of getting that chance, because I want to thank you guys for sending me back out there, showing that confidence in me. Part of the learning process, the maturation of a young pitcher. You're going along nicely, you get nicked up, give up a couple, you have to be able to fight through it.
Toward left, and it's through. And the Cubs rallying here with nobody out in the sixth, 2 on.
And perhaps right about now, Pete Mackanin saying, maybe I should have hit for him. He's probably going to go get him now. Second hit of the night for Baez. Breaking pitches both times. Line drive single to center last time. This time he's out in front a little bit, but hits it with a lot of top spin, and Ashley can't track it down.
That will be it for Morgan. Pitching change coming in the sixth. Cubs trying to add to their 2-1 lead.
It's in about 15 minutes. An hour and 15. Hector Neris, the right-hander, works for the 25th time. 2-2 with a 4.06 earned run average. Fastball, slider, and a split finger pitch that he'll use a fair bit.
He's in for the lefty Morgan, and it is David Ross.
Morgan's ultimate fate yet to be determined here. Obviously cannot win this game, can only lose it. And those 2 base runners out there belong to him. But you have to like what you saw from the young guy tonight. He's got a pretty good idea out there.
Two on, nobody out. Castro, the runner at second. Baez at first. Phillies at double play depth around their infield, and David lost the handle on the bat on a swinging strike.
First pitch swinging last time. He hit a fly ball to right field. This time he pulls off the slider a little bit. He goes up there hacking. He swings first pitch quite a bit.
There's the split. It's 0-2.
Not that many guys throw the split anymore. Years ago, that was kind of the pitch of the day. Now it seems like the cutter is everybody's favorite weapon.
Yep.
There's some doctors, pitching coaches that don't like the splitter. Feels like it puts undue stress on the arm, but it can be a heck of a pitch, especially for a hard thrower who doesn't have good feel for a breaking ball.
That was a dandy. Bottom fell out of it as he strikes out Ross.
Yeah, and I think it's an easier pitch to command than a lot of other changeups or breaking balls. Or if not, maybe command's not the right word, but just to develop the feel for.
Many managers in this spot will just have the pitcher bunt. I mean, that could be the case at some point, but not on the first pitch. One and one. Two and one on Arrieta. There's 26 years old, 6'2", 215. One appearance last year. This is his 25th so far this season. That ball right on his back hip. And he missed again. 3-1. I don't know if he's trying to throw the ball to the edges against the pitcher, but that's what he's done according to pitch tracks.
Been throwing splitters too.
He walked him. Well, that could be big.
Wow, yeah, that's
loading the bases for Addison Russell.
Even if you think the guy's going to bunt, your primary mission there is to throw a strike. Well, be ready right here, Addison. He'll groove you one.
The kick and the pitch, and that's drilled into left. Here comes Castro. Baez right behind him. Arrieta will be stopped at third. It's a two-run double for Russell. 4-1.
Last couple of weeks, the Cubs have had a lot of big innings, middle innings like this. Send 6, 7, 8, sometimes 9 men to the plate. And Russell indeed was ready to hit, jumped on that first pitch fastball. You talk about getting the barrel out in front. He crushed that ball. So wayward and defensive was nearest to Arrieta. He decides he has to challenge Russell, and Russell jumps all over it.
Yeah, good call, partner. He was definitely ready for that first pitch, and he made him pay. 2-run fifth, 2-run sixth. Fowler, a 2-out spark plug in the fifth, ahead of the Jackson double. Infield in for the Phils. Second and third. Bounce to second. Arrieta holds. They've got Russell caught, and he is tagged out by Galvis.
Well, you take the good, you take the bad, and this is the bad. Overly aggressive Russell here with a man on third base. There's no contact play on there, so you got to read the ball and in that instance stay put.
But you're going to sing the Facts of Life.
Yeah, I was thinking I had a little going on there. guess it would be the facts of baseball or the facts of youthful baseball.
Soft liner, little leaping grab by Hernandez. And that will end the inning. It's now 4-1 Cubs in the 6th. T-Mobile. Fans enjoying a ball game. I'm not sure where. I think that's here.
I don't know.
Where could that be?
Could be a new contest.
Name the ballpark.
Name the ballpark that the Cub fans are at.
Maybe the south side. U.S. Cellular Field. Not sure. So 4-1 behind Jake Arrieta. First of a doubleheader here tonight. Herrera bounces, dropped by Rizzo. Arrieta covering, and the recovery in time.
David Ross is yelling at Rizzo. They have an interesting relationship, those two guys. David Ross talking about it the other day. That interview that Kelly did with him. He's talking about he likes to give Anthony the business. He checks in with him every day. Basically letting him know how important he is to the team. So, hey, man, you got to carry us. Are you ready? You ready to carry the ball club again today? Do your thing.
Arrieta to Francoeur. It's low for ball one. Sam Gibbs wants us to thank his wife Ashley for allowing him to watch the whole doubleheader. Thanks, Ashley. He appreciates it, and so do we. Fowler on the move, and he's got it. Just gliding out there in deep right center.
Francoeur hit a base hit to right field last time. This time it's a bid for extra bases, but Fowler there to haul it in. Take home a game used or autographed item and help benefit Cubs charities. Cubs Authentics is the premier outlet for all MLB authenticated Cubs memorabilia. Visit Cubs.com/authentics to bid on weekly auction items and to pre-order game used bases and baseballs. The Cubs will donate net proceeds from the sale of Cubs Authentics to Cubs charities.
2 outs. Howard takes a slider off the plate inside. Heath says he's spending the night before his wedding, hanging with his buddies, watching us.
Congratulations, Heath.
Calling it a mini bachelor party. With an emoji of a piece of pizza and a beer.
Yeah, order up some pizzas and wings.
Sounds good.
Settle in, spend your Friday night with us.
A 1-1. Rizzo's had a busy night. This time he'll take it by himself. No need to throw it. 4-1 Cubs as we go to the 7th. Go at it. Coverage starts at 5:30 with Cubs pregame live presented by Fields Auto right here on CSN Chicago. We still have game 2 about 30 minutes after the completion of this one. Go ahead RBI double for Chris Bryant in the 5th. Checked his swing and fouled. His 87th run knocked in. He trails Anthony Rizzo by 1. He could be the first rookie to lead the team in RBIs since Ray Grimes in 1921. He knocked in 79.
And if you're wondering, the all-time single season RBI record for a rookie, that belongs to Ted Williams. He drove in 145 back in 1939.
100, how many?
145.
Yeah, I don't think Chris is going to get that many. Janmar Gomez is up. Pulled foul. Cubs looking to beat the Phillies for the first time. Lost all 3 at Wrigley in July. So they'll have to win all 4 to take the season series. Called strike 3, got the high strike call. So Rizzo has 88 knocked in, Bryant 87. You know who's third on the team?
Starlin was for a long time.
Starlin Castro with 52. That's a big spread between second and third, but yeah. Dexter Fowler leads the team in runs scored now at 91. 4 guys have at least 50 walks.
That's one of the big differences between these two teams. The Cubs walk a lot, and the Phillies are dead last in the league in walking.
Phillies have also not caught the baseball this year. They've probably been the worst defensive club in the major leagues. Who is that masked man?
Charlie Manuel. It's the unknown comic.
Still 1-2.
A lot of times in a situation like this, when you see a hitter, and we've seen it with Rizzo, reach to cover a pitch off the outside part of the plate, a catcher will go, okay, I got him set up and I'll jam him with a heater. We've seen Rizzo spin on that pitch and hit it 430 feet. You know, they stay away with a breaking ball.
Will find the stands.
Couple backdoor breakers. That was a straight changeup.
So the Myrtle Beach Pelicans, playing the deciding game 3 of their playoff series, Carolina League playoffs, beat Winston-Salem in a marathon last night. Jorge Soler will be in the lineup tonight.
Good.
Only a Cubs minor league affiliate still playing. Brad Markey, right-hander, took a no-hitter into the 8th. How about this? Top of the 9th, they had a rain delay last night after Winston-Salem loaded the bases with nobody out. I think it was 4-1 at the time. They had that long rain delay of almost 3 hours. When they came back, Pelicans gave up 2 but held on 4-3 in a game that actually ended early this morning.
The masked man has been revealed. So they got the finale tonight.
Yep. And the winner goes to the league championship series. This time he got him.
Neris was either really proud of that strikeout or he thought this was the 3rd out. He took a long walk.
This backwards is siren.
Well, they stayed away from the fastball. Backdoor breakers, split finger pitches. The Winston-Salem team, their nickname is the Dash. I'm assuming it's for the dash between Winston and Salem in the name.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which on one level seems really lame, but there's another part of me that really likes it.
Well, we're talking about it. Yeah, it is a reference to the dash. Did you know that?
Could have been the hyphens. No, it's here in the minor league report.
Driven out in the deep right center. Way back. It's gone. Starlin Castro with a home run. 5-1. He'll make a dash around the bases.
He has had a very nice stretch here over the last 15, 16 ball games, hitting better than 400. He's had 6 or 7 multi-hit games, including a couple of 3-hit games. He's been hitting the ball with authority. It's at least his third home run in that stretch.
He's popping a bubble as he hit that ball out of the ballpark. So 2 for 4 with a homer and 2 runs.
This performance by Castro over the last couple of weeks has been really impressive, and it's nice to see him fight back. It's been a real tough year for him. He was benched, and this is his way of basically saying, "Don't forget about me."
Yeah, very nice development. Well, I mean, we've been talking about his standing on the team and playoff roster where he fits. I think he is making a very strong case to not only be on the roster, but to play a lot. Keep swinging the bat like this. Baez chops one to short. It's actually the second baseman, Hernandez, playing on the other side. And we'll stretch here in Philadelphia. The first of 2 stretches tonight. That one's stretched on out of here.
The way to follow the Cubs' push to the postseason is with MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcasts, and more. Get MLB.com at bat. Do it now.
Cubs a chance to get within 2 of the Pirates. They're just getting started tonight. At home against Milwaukee. And ho-hum, Jake Arrieta into the 7th. He's allowed 1. And the guy he's facing supplied that tally for the Phillies. Aaron Altair with a 2nd inning home run. Two and 0.
Well, not that you want to groove a fastball to the guy who already took you deep, but Jake certainly has that luxury now with his 4-run lead to be aggressive in this situation. Overcooked that one a little bit. I got a slider or a cutter that just backed up. It hovered.
Ground ball to Castro, moving a bit to his right. 1 out.
So should Jake Arrieta go on to win the Cy Young Award this year, this kid Altero will be able to tell his buddies back home, oh yeah, I got him in my book. I got Mr. Cy.
Nicholas Gill is watching us back home, rooting on the Cubs tonight. Cody Ashe, there's 1 out. Caught by Fowler.
Canna Kern. 2 quick outs, 83 pitches for Arrieta with 2 outs in the 7th. Steamy here yesterday. That storm that passed through took some of the humidity out of the air.
Adam Lind has homered in the top of the first for the Brewers. 2-0 Milwaukee in Pittsburgh. And it was a 2-run homer off Charlie Morton. Jimmy Nelson will get the ball for the Brewers. And when he does, he'll have the lead.
Tough guy to finish off. He does not strike out much at all. In his prime, he's a good RBI guy or a good hit and run guy. Guy could handle velocity. That's
Arrieta's consistency with his velocity, and I mean not just start to start, but from the first to the 7th or 8th or 9th, has been just remarkable. I mean, I don't recall any start where he's been the 7th or 8th and has thrown a fastball at 93, 95, it's 95, 96. Just effortless.
All that conditioning. This stage of the ball game, when all that leg work really pays off. All the running, the endurance, and because that's a lot of times what causes the velocity to go down. Your legs get a little tired. You kind of get a little wobbly with your mechanics. You don't have the jump on the fastball. You just don't finish your delivery quite as cleanly.
The last pitch was a slider at 91. 94 on a sinker just off the corner, and he walked him.
Well, Matt Stairs, who does TV next door for the Phillies, came in here after the first inning and said, what is that? Is that a cutter? Is it a slider? Is that, it can't be a slider, Kelly. It's 92. I said, well, call it what you want. It has depth like a slider.
There's Matt Stairs. It's Greg Murphy filling in for Tom McCarthy and Phillies TV. Former Cub Brian Bogusevic batting in the pitcher's spot.
Brian, a Chicago area guy.
Born in Oakland, went to De La Salle Institute and then on to Tulane. Former Astro and Cub. Did not play in the big leagues last year, and this is only his 5th plate appearance this season. And that's going to be a fair ball the other way. Slowly rolled into left. Ruiz stops at second.
Well, the Phillies making a little noise here after 2 out in the 7th. Ruiz worked the walk. Bogusevic with a good bit of batmanship here. Reaches out and pokes that ball down the third baseline. That appeared to be another changeup from Arrieta.
All this happening after 2 are out. The walk to Ruiz, the single by the pinch hitter Bogusevic. Now Hernandez, 1 out of 3. And it gets by, and the throw will go to third, but late.
David got caught flat-footed there. Tried to reach for that one. Got a piece of it, but couldn't secure it. And Chris Bosio is going to come out for a chat. Jake, a few of these pitches just trying to overthrow a little bit.
Lexi Henning is watching us from Scotland. And MLB.TV. Thanks for tuning in or logging in. Right field, and it's Austin Jackson to make the catch. And maybe stop by Bull's Barbecue. Yum, yum. 5-1 Cubs. Five to 1. Veteran right-hander Janmar Gomez will make his 59th appearance. Jake Arrieta through 7 has allowed 1 run. He's made 94 pitches. And his ERA is down to 2.00.
What is there? Greinke or Kershaw going tonight?
Let me find out. Ross will lead it off.
Gomez, 27 years of age, former Indian, former Pirate. first year with the Phillies.
And ball one. Alex Wood pitching for the Dodgers tonight. One and one the count on Ross. Game 2 will start about a half hour after we finish the opener. Jorge Soler is playing right, batting third for the Myrtle Beach Pelicans tonight in their playoff game, wearing number 45. Ross went, and he strikes out.
The sliders there from Gomez. Pirates used him as a swing man, working both as a starter and out of the bullpen. With the Phillies here this year, he's been exclusively out of the pen.
Soler has doubled in his first at bat. Strike on Arrieta. Yesterday, the Cubs announced details for fans who want to purchase single game tickets to possible playoff games at Wrigley until September 23rd at noon. You can register for a random drawing to win a chance to purchase single game postseason tickets. Cubs.com/postseason. One and two on Arrieta. Nothing is set in stone, but if it all works out, looks like Jake Arrieta would get the ball for a potential wild card game. Right now, it would be in Pittsburgh, but that could change. Cubs have been bearing down on the Pirates for weeks. You know how you're on the highway and you just on a long trip and there's somebody right off in your rear view mirror and they're just sitting right there waiting.
And bigger, getting a little bigger in that rear view mirror.
The objects are larger than they appear. Or closer than they appear. Swing and a miss, strike three. Boy, if the Cubs could have hung on to that game the other day, they'd only be 5 out in the division, but can't change that now.
Well, Cardinals going through a rough stretch. They've been giving up a lot of runs last week or so.
Russell takes a strike. Pirates Cubs at Wrigley Sunday, September 27th. That will be a Sunday night ESPN telecast. 7:08 for the first pitch. So if you have tickets, that is a night game on the 27th. 0-2. Two-run double for Russell. Made it 4-1. That was in the 6th. He held. Ben May made the call at first. The
Russell double came after Jake Arrieta walked. Cubs had runners at first and second, one out. Arrieta up there, what normally would be a bunting situation. There is no such thing as a normal bunting situation for Joe Madden. Arrieta took a walk. Russell jumped on a first pitch fastball and played it 2.
Gomez just struck out the side. Bottom 8, 5-1 for the visitors. Three and 4. Galvis, Herrera, Francoeur due for the Phillies. Justin Grimm, Justin Case here in the 8th. So here's the thing about a straight doubleheader. If you're the starting pitcher for game 2, unlike a split doubleheader, hey, look, we're starting at 7 o'clock for the nightcap. You could plan your day accordingly. If you're Kyle Hendricks, almost as the last out is being recorded, right? You got a half hour, so you're probably already getting into your routine.
Yep. Yeah, now whatever that routine is, I don't know. For Kyle, everybody's a little bit different. Some guys might be in there getting a little stretch right now, a little rub. Some guys like to sit in a hot tub for a while.
On the ground to the shortstop. Behind second, Russell will make the play. Galvis 0 for 4. Here comes Herrera. High and away, ball 1.
I suspect at some point during this game, Kyle spent some time, maybe he's doing it right now, reviewing video and scouting reports on these Philly hitters. And more likely, Kyle would prefer to watch video of a pitcher similar to himself pitching against the Philly hitters as opposed to watching Jake Arrieta's performance against the Philly hitters, because they're two very different pitchers.
2-2. The wind and the pitch. Curveball got away. Full count.
So Arrieta pushed back a day because of the rain last night, but he still should be in position to pitch against the Pirates and the Cardinals, and then against the Pirates if need be. If I'm doing the math right.
Swung on and missed. Strike three. Nasty.
Number 6 for Arrieta. Check that. I guess he would miss the Cardinals. Complete game. Shut out the no-hitter 2 starts ago. 8 shutout last time. 8 innings on the verge of 8 innings of one-run baseball here tonight. 105 pitches. Joe Madden may send him back out there for the 9th.
Chance to go 10-0 his last 12 road starts. Fair ball. Francoeur. That was weird. Some funky spin off the bat. I thought it was going to go way foul, and it was way fair. So a 2-out single. Let's see Francoeur's reaction. Yeah, he didn't see it. Howard now 0 for his last 32. Although he hit a ball really hard his first at bat. Running grab by Jackson. 21 homers on the year, 355 in his career. He's 35 years old, signed through next season. And he waits on a 1-0 from Arrieta. So Jake has gone over 200 strikeouts on the season here tonight. He started this game 9 innings shy of 200. So if he gets through this 8th inning, he'll be at 199 on the year. Under 157 innings last year. His previous career high. 2-1.
At no point in this year did you ever get the sense that he was wearing down.
No, not at any start.
Been almost robotic.
Well, as the Cubs get closer to possibly clinching at least a wild card spot. It'll be interesting to see if he just goes in his normal turn, if he's skipped, if he's pushed back, if he continues to go on normal rest. Would he be shortened up at all? Swing and a miss, 3-2.
Yeah, I guess it just would depend on what was at stake in those final days. But the wild card game is October 7th, I believe.
Wednesday.
Yeah, and the regular season ends on the 4th.
We're 4 weeks away. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Arrieta threw 8 and threw 199 innings this season now. And he certainly seems poised to get his 19th win. 5-1. A 5-1 lead as we get into the ninth. Colton Murray is on.
He has pitched 3 big league games this year. And prior to that, split time between AA and AAA. 6-1, 21 games at AA. With a 2.52 ERA, then up to AAA, and he was really good there as well. 31 appearances, a 2.79 ERA. It's Lehigh Valley, their AAA club, the Iron Pigs.
Oh, I failed to mention, with that scoreless 8th, yep. Jake's ERA down to 1.99.
That's good. He is having one of the all-time great seasons for a pitcher in franchise history.
So the 6-foot right-hander Colton Murray facing the Cubs for the first time. Fowler takes a strike, 95 on the gun. Three previous appearances, runs allowed in 2 of those for Murray. Product of University of Kansas. And a foul by Fowler.
"25 years of age. Actually started the year at AAA, was demoted to AA before being recalled to AAA. Ended up posting good numbers at both spots, as I mentioned. 13th round pick in 2011.
From Overland Park, Kansas. 1-2. So because this is a single admission doubleheader, we will not get the actual attendance until later. But nice turnout tonight. As we mentioned, they have been drawing pretty small crowds, and there weren't many people here when we started, just after 5 o'clock local time.
No, it's kind of like the people show up, second half of the JV game before the varsity, right? A little JV crowd early, and now it's filled in.
Here it comes. He got him. Last 4 Cub hitters have all struck out swinging. 3 against Gomez, and now Fowler against Murray to start the 9th.
Right over the top, good sharp curveball from Murray. So it's a mid-90s heater that he likes to work up in the zone, and complements it with that 12-6 curveball. Keeps that up, and they're going to be comparing him to Ricky Batalico.
Justin Grimm was up earlier. Now Trevor Cahill, the sinker baller, has joined him. Bounced foul back to the plate. Tigers and Indians in Cleveland have been washed out. One and two. I should have said one and move.
We can get that shot again, and you can pretend it never happened.
Okay. Still one and move.
And I said earlier that with that kind of odd start time, that tends to benefit the pitcher. That's probably unfair, probably easy to say when Jake Arrieta's pitching, right? I mean, it's a good night for a pitcher, regardless of the conditions. He's going to pitch a low-run game.
Galvis to Howard. Arrieta is making quite a case for the Cy Young. The problem has nothing to do with what he's done. The problem is a guy named Zach Greinke. And as you mentioned, it kind of feels now like who's going to blink, if anybody. As Bryant sends a soft fly ball out into left center, it'll parachute down for a base hit. Greinke's 16-3 with a 168. And I've been saying it's Greinke's to lose. I guess I still feel that way, but man, oh man, is Jake making it really, really close. And we still have several weeks, so some things can happen.
Yeah, Jake's got the no-hitter on his resume this year. He's bested him in strikeouts. And Kershaw, for me, is still in the conversation, too.
Greinke will go into his next start at just under 193 innings, so very similar to Arrieta. See, at this point, I don't think it's going to come down to if it changes or if anything affects it here late to somebody being really good, because it's so difficult to decrease your ERA this deep into a season with a sub-2. It's going to be if somebody has an awful start and the ERA goes up and they knock themselves out.
Somebody gives up a 5 spot in 5 innings.
Well, remember John Lester, a very tough no decision on Wednesday afternoon in St. Louis, 7 innings. And it was magnificent. And then Arrieta here tonight. That's what a top of the rotation hopefully looks like. Numbers like that.
And both hits John allowed were in the first inning.
The 0-2 to Rizzo, in on the hands, and he fights it off. Just nicked it.
He ticked it. If you want to get into some of the deeper analytical stats, ERA plus, which accounts for the player's ballpark, according to that number, Greinke's still with an edge over Jake.
Is he over 200?
224.
224. That's more than twice as good as league average. Incredible. So you start there on those, OPS plus, ERA plus. You start at 100. And if you're at 120, you're what, 20% better than league average?
I think so. Yeah. I think you have better handle on it than I do.
That's a wow. Yeah. Is Jake at 200?
Jake's at 194. Kershaw last year was at 199. The last guy to post a 200 or better was Greinke in 09.
And he won it that year. Was that the year in Kansas City?
Has to be, right? Yeah.
These are fun. Anthony had one earlier. He ended up striking out, but gets into these 2-strike counts, and he's not just flailing away blindly. And that time he chased a bad one. We go to the bottom of the 9th. It's 5-1 Cubs. Marietta pitches, we give him this toast.
Yeah, he's been very toasty this year. And there you see the arsenal, the heater up, the breaking ball, the slider, again the changeup, a big part of it for him here tonight. This magnificent stuff from Marietta. And now it's Justin Grimm on to work the bottom half of the ninth. And he has pitched to a 2.36 ERA. Bullpen's been a little leaky of late. So Joe Madden hoping for a quick 1-2-3 drama-free ninth from Grimm. Just in case, he's got Hector Rondon warming up out in the pen.
So non-save spot with a 4-run lead. Pitch to Altair is right down the middle. Right in the middle of that box on Toyota pitch tracks at 96.
Right on top of Whoopi Goldberg's head. Or Alice the Maid, whichever you prefer.
One and one.
Grimm touched up for 2 runs on a hit in 1/3 of an inning the other day in St. Louis. That was an 8-5 Cub win. And the Cardinals made some noise late.
Yeah, the Cy Young race is just going to be really fun to watch here the last few weeks. Let's put it this way. If Jake continues to do what he's doing, he'll win it. He's going to end up with like a 180 if he keeps doing this. I can't imagine Greinke could be better.
No, but that's kind of the argument, the conversation we've had all year watching Jake pitch every 5 days. You go, how on earth could anybody be better than what he has done? And then you look at Greinke, and I'm sure those guys are watching him pitch out there in LA going, and Kershaw too for that matter, go, how can anybody be better than that? It's just amazing how good these guys have been.
One away as Grimm fans Altair, now Ashe. Outside, ball one.
But, you know, and it's ironic because we talk a lot about the value of the win as a statistic, and that may be what pushes Jake over the hump in the eyes of the voters.
Mm-hmm. Line drive into center, base hit. Yeah, the other thing about this that we should mention is there's not some statistical formula that makes you the Cy Young. People vote on it.
Right.
So, yeah, the no-hitter helps. I think the Cubs' story helps. I think wins will help.
Right, yeah. I mean, especially if you get, 19 versus 16, maybe not, but 20 is kind of that one of those magical numbers in baseball. If a pitcher had a 20-win season, that's a big deal. And you can argue the merits as to whether that should or not. But I think in the minds of many voters, it will matter.
Ruiz takes a curve for a strike. No, didn't hold up. He went. Ruiz trying to show Ben May. See, I held. I'm guessing he held it. He held it about a foot back where it actually went. Well, I am not rooting against Clayton Kershaw. Do not get me wrong. But I would say that somebody else's turn, right? He's been good enough. I know Cub fans would agree with that. Greinke has won, and Arrieta has definitely been good enough to win it. Who's going to win the American League?
American League Cy Young Award. Dallas Keuchel?
Not a bad choice. Sonny Gray, 228. Yeah. Dallas Keuchel, 229. So the ERA kind of cancels out. David Price, 243. Two different teams. Yeah, I'd say Keuchel right now is probably your best bet. He struck him out. 2 down.
Not an easy guy to punch out, but that curveball is devastating.
Former Cub, Andres Blanco. Ball 1. Switch hitter. Former Royal, Cub, Ranger. 2009, 53 games with the Cubs.
Batting helmet looks like it's been in a fire.
There goes from first, a roller to Rizzo. Grimm over late, doesn't matter. Anthony will take it by himself. Cubs win. Cubs win. And Jake Arrieta's got his 19th victory. So we're back with you tonight in about a half hour for Game 2. Final score, Cubs 5, Phillies 1. It'll be Kyle Hendricks against Alec Asher in Game 2. We're going to send it back to our Chicago studios for Blue Cross Blue Shield Cubs post-game live next.